الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه وصلوات الله وسلامه على نبينا الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. God has mentioned in the Quran وَابْتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ فَإِنْ آنَسْتُم مِّنْهُمْ رُشْدًا فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا وَبِدَارًا يَكْبَرُوا. Those of you who are fostering the orphans, you're responsible for young children who are orphans, and you're responsible for their money, their wealth that they inherited as their money. Then test them to see whether or not they are able to be responsible intellectually for the money. Give them a test. Once they reach the age where they can get married, or the age of understanding and discernment, then you should test them. And if you found that they know what they're doing, and they know and they can appreciate the wealth that belongs to them, then you should give them their wealth. Give it to them. And don't try to devour their wealth and eat it all up and get rid of it while they're young, before they get old. That's an ayah of the Quran. Another ayah similar to it is the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. Those people who are safi, foolish, not ghabi, stupid, safi, the sufaha, meaning the young children. They're giving other people, but this ayah is talking about the orphans. The ayah telling those people who are fostering children and responsible for children that these people, you should not give them their wealth because they may not understand. They are safi. They don't know what they're doing. Don't give them the wealth that Allah has put you in charge over it. Don't do that. The hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, رُفِعَ الْقَلَمْ عَنْ ثَلَاثَةٍ عَنِ النَّائِمِ حتى يستيقظ وعن المجنون وعن الصبي حتى يحتلم وعن المجنون حتى يعقل وفي رواية حتى يفيق. Along with these two ayat of the Quran, he mentions sallallahu alaihi wasallam, three people, the pen of responsibility has been lifted off of them. There's no taklif on these people. They don't have to pray. They don't have to fast. They don't have to make hajj. They don't have to make umrah. They don't have to do these things that people are responsible for. Three of them. The first one is the one who is sleeping. If a person sleeps, then the pen of responsibility is taken off of him. And the one who, until he wakes up, and the one who is a child, the pen of responsibility has been lifted off of that child. And number three, the majnoon, the one who is mentally challenged, crazy person, as they say, then the pen of responsibility is lifted. These three nasus from the kitab and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they go to show that the manaq of a taklif, responsibility on people, it is connected to the person's ability to use his intellect. If he doesn't have the capacity to use his intellect, he or she is not responsible. And these three nusus go to show what we've been talking about in the last 2 weeks, and that is the dururiyatul khamsa, the 5 essential things that Islam came to protect. And we told you last week, in talking about the orphans, the issue with the orphans is represented and reflected in the issue of the dururiyatul khamsa. All 5 of them, you can find proof of them as it relates to the orphan. So these texts that I just mentioned to you goes to show that Islam put a lot of emphasis on protecting the haqq of the one who is majnoon. He doesn't have the ability to discern. Take care of the rights of the orphan who doesn't know what they're doing. Islam has made halal certain things, wajib certain things, haram other things, to come to protect people's intellect. Not just the orphan, I'm just using the orphan because we wanted to show you from last week that the 5 essentials, you can find the dalil for each one as it relates to what Islam said we should do and not do with the orphans. Islam came to protect everybody's intellect out there. And Islam said that you have to do everything in your power as a human being to protect your intellect and not to put it on display to be damaged, destroyed, or even stolen away. So Islam made certain things wajib and certain things haram. For an example, khamr. Islam made khamr haram. And Islam told us, Akbar al-khaba'ith wa Akbar al-kaba'ir wa al-khaba'ith is the khamr. Is the biggest sin and the dirtiest, most filthiest of all of the sins. So it says you can't drink, you can't use narcotics, mukhaddarat. As I stand here on this minbar, every single saf in this masjid, every saf, from the first one to the last one, on each and every floor, there is a person or family from amongst us where we have suffered and we continue to suffer and we continue to have to deal with the evil consequences of drugs, marijuana, khamr, khat, and other than that. That's how prevalent it is in the society, not just with non-Muslims, but with Muslims as well. So Islam came to say, hey, don't drink and don't use drugs, because it's going to compromise your ability to make decisions. And even if a person doesn't do drugs, he can still be affected in this society. The person who is drinking has nothing to do with you. But when you find yourself on the motorway, he gets into a car accident with you, and the one who is innocent is killed as a result of someone who has been using drugs or drinking khamr. The people who have been killed in our community members from our shabab, the ones who have been killed in this gang violence, knife crime, gun crime, 95%, 98%, almost all of them have to do with khamr and drugs. That's the culture here in our community. So Islam said, no, these kids shouldn't be losing their lives while they're still babies. People wouldn't do these things if they had the aql. I did a program because some of the young people from our community are dealing with the NHS. And we wanted to address and tackle this issue of khat. We had a member of our community at the place trying to argue that khat is okay. Khat is halal. Where's the dalil that khat is halal? It's not in the Quran, it's not in the Sunnah. And plus these non-Muslims didn't say it was a haram until recently. That was his dalil. Does a Muslim think like that? That if Europeans, non-Muslims, don't see it as being prohibited, it's okay? But even they had enough sense to know khat is a problem. Again, in this masjid, from the first row to the last row, and in between that, there are people in this audience who have suffered from the evil of khat. Our family problems, the issue with money, even whole countries, the whole country is affected by this issue of khat. It doesn't allow us to make intaj. It has all kind of medical issues. So Islam came and said, don't compromise your intellect. Islam has put this particular issue front and center in terms of the responsibility of this community. Things are wajib and things are haram. So Allah Azza wa Jal has put a lot of emphasis on the importance of taking care of your intellect. Watching pornography, being an individual who is mudmin on gambling. All of that stuff affects people's intellect. The man goes and gambles and he spends the money that pays the bills because something is wrong. He has some kind of dependency on gambling. It's a mental illness. Islam says all of those issues are haram. So we have too many ayahs of the Quran that clearly prove this point. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ وَمَا يَعْقِلُهَا إِلَّا الْعَالِمُونَ. All of those ayats making the ta'zeem of the position of the intellect in this religion. It is too important. Also the issue of sihr. We have people in our community who are practitioners of sihr. The companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jundab radiyallahu anhu, Umar ibn al-Khattab doing his khilafah. The Prophet didn't say it, but the companion said it. And this is what they were upon. They said, Haddu as-sahir was-sahira darbatun bis-sayf. The one who does magic in Islam, he or she, a witch, soothsayer, they're doing magic. The reward, the penalty, is that they should be struck with the sword. Chop their necks off in Islam. Why? Because in the family, they go to that sahir or the sahira, and she makes the person who should be loving his mother, loving his father, loving the wife or the uncle, that person comes and destroys the mentality of the people. So in dealing with that, Islam made sihr, something that is serious in this religion. Again, all of those indications and examples of how Islam came to protect people's intellect. How is a person going to know his religion, know what's right, know what's wrong, if he or she doesn't have their intellect? So with that being the case, Ikhwani, Allah Azza wa Jalla has given a number of ayat talking bad about the people and giving terrible examples about the people that He has given them intellect, but they don't use it. وَكَثِيرٌ مَّهُمْ, Allah has given him intellect. He's a person who's aqil, he's not majnoon, she's not majnoona. But if you look at the tasarrufat of that person, you say, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? There's no rhyme or reason to the way you're behaving and what you're doing. It makes no sense. I understand you don't like it. I understand you want to solve a problem. But the way you're doing it, are you crazy? So Allah spoke bad and in unfavorable terms. Many ayat. He mentioned in the Quran, وَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِكَثِيرٍ وَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمْ كَثِيرٍ مِّنَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. The people that Allah Ta'ala, He said in the Quran, He prepared the hellfire for a lot of jinn and a lot of mankind. Because the jinn and the mankind, and there's something we learn about the jinn. The jinn and the mankind, there are those, some of them who have hearts. The jinn have hearts. They don't use their heart to reflect and to understand. They don't use their minds. They have eyes they can't see. They're not blind, but they're not using their eyes. Can't you see he's lying? Can't you see he's not on the hop? What he's saying doesn't make sense? He has eyes, he has ears, he can't hear. Allah said, those people, they're like the animals, like the cattle. They're like camels, they're like sheep, they're like the ghanim, they're like horses and donkeys. They're like the an'am. No, instead, they are worse than the animals. That's a tashbih that Allah gives to the people who He has blessed with aql, but the person doesn't know how to use the gift of what Allah gave him. Doesn't make sense. Even worse than that is the statement of Allah Ta'ala in the Quran, فَمَثَلُهُ كَمَثَلِ الْكَلْبِ إِن تَحْمِلْ عَلَيْهِ يَلْهَثْ أَوْ تَتْرُكْهُ يَلْهَثْ ذَلِكَ مَثَلُ قَوْمِ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. The example of the people who have eyes and ears, they have the ability to use their mind, but they choose not to do so. Their example is like the example of the dog. The dog. I'm on the train today, coming to Liverpool. Non-Muslim lady gets on the train with a dog that smells terrible. I vomited on the train. I'll get up and I'll sit with that dog and I'll sit next to the toilet, akramakumullah. The toilet of the train that's broke before I sit with that dog. The Prophet said about those dogs, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لَوْلَا أَنَّ الْكِلَابَ أُمَّةٌ مَثْلُكُمْ لَأَمَرْتُ بِقَتْلِهَا. Lady, get on the train, the stinking dog, kissing the dog in the mouth. Any Muslim who says that, or sees it, says, hey, what's wrong with you? You've become lesser than that dog. Walking around and walking behind the kilab, picking up their defecation. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah has blessed Bani Adam. He put Bani Adam way higher than the dog. But when Bani Adam doesn't use his intellect, he doesn't use his eyes, his ears, his mind to discern truth from falsehood and so on, he becomes lower and less than the dog. If you bother the dog, he'll sit there and pant with his tongue out. If you leave him alone, he'll sit there and pant. It's the same. You produce the truth, you don't produce the truth. It's the same to them. It is the same. سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. It's the same. That's our religion, ibadallah. Allah has blessed you with an intellect. You have to use your intellect, and we all make mistakes. But we have to remember this. Certain issues, they warrant our anger. My wife makes me upset. My children make me upset. But to punch my kid in the face and to put him in a coma, what is wrong with me? Here's the problem. I'm upset with her. She's upset with me. But for me to take out a knife and stab my wife because I'm upset, no, you have a right to be upset. But solving the problem doesn't warrant all of that ghulu and all of that shiddah. You have gone beyond what is acceptable, not mentally acceptable by anybody, whatever your religion happens to be, whatever your ethnic background happens to be. But there are those people, ikhwati fillah, and we can't be from them. The people of Ahlul Kitab, as it relates to their religion, who Allah is, who Allah isn't, who the prophets and the messengers are and who they're not. Salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Many ayat of the Quran describing those people. And these are the same people who many of us look at them and we say all of the answers are with the non-Muslims. All of the answers with the non-Muslims. If they didn't figure it out, then there's a problem. They're better than us. No, that's not the case, not in this religion. Allah said about the Ahlul Kitab, Yahud and the Nasara, as it relates to the reality of their religion or the lack thereof. وَلَئِنْ أَتَيْتَ أَهْلَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ بِكُلِّ آيَةٍ مَا تَبِعُوا قِبْلَتَهُمْ. Ya Muhammad, if you brought every single ayat to these people, they're not going to follow your qibla. When the qibla was changed from Bayt al-Maqdis to Al-Madinah to Mecca, those people from Ahlul Kitab and their books, they knew that was one of the signs that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the truth. But they changed their religion. If you bring them every sign about who Allah is, who He isn't, they're not going to listen to you. And some people are like that. Bring them any and every sign, he or she cannot accept or comprehend what you're saying. When Musa came to those people with all of those proofs, opening up the Red Sea, do you need a bigger mu'jiza other than that? Taking his hand out and it's being wiped. The Jarad, all of that stuff that Musa brought, all of those mu'jizat should have been enough for those people. But they said to Musa, لَن نُؤْمِنَ لَكَ حَتَّى نَرَى اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً. We won't believe in you, Musa, until we see Allah with our own eyes. What's said in the Quran, we're not going to believe in that. What's said in our Torah, we're not going to believe in that. If Jibreel came down himself and said, follow Muhammad, we're going to say Jibreel is lying. We'll only believe if Allah came down personally and He said it. That's what some Muslims are like that. You can talk until you blue in the face. The Muslim won't understand. In our religion, what you're doing is not permissible. You can't allow your emotions to do that. Which brings me to an issue. Today, ikhwati fillah, listen to me because I'm not here to bash anyone. I'm here to ask every Muslim here, where is your intellect? Where is your ability to see, to hear, and to reflect? And don't come to me with a rad. And your rad is, but my father said, my adat, my taqaleed, my madhab said, my sheikh said, that's not the religion. Abu Lahab and Abu Jahl. When the Prophet brought them this religion, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked them to do a simple thing. Qulu la ilaha illallah. That's all they had to do. Your fitrah goes along with that. Your intellect goes along with that. It's not difficult to understand. Unlike Christianity, the tathlith, God is one, but 3 equals 1. How? Explain that to me. And you can't get a grasp on what they're talking about. And when they try to explain this fundamental part of their religion, all of them seem to be drowning. It's like a ghariq, because it doesn't make sense. Qulu la ilaha illallah. Easy. Like drinking Zamzam water. You don't choke on it, it's easy to go down. You can multitask. Drinking is easy. Abu Lahab and Abu Jahl, they said, we didn't find our fathers doing that. You have come with something different. So that hujjah and that dalil, my fathers didn't do that. That's not a dalil. That's not something that the uqala will say. Today is the 11th of Rabi' al-Awwal. Tomorrow, Saturday, is going to be the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. In the city of Liverpool, I'm not talking about anywhere else. In the city of Liverpool, some of the Muslims of our community in the masjid now may not be in the masjid. We're going to celebrate Prophet Muhammad's birthday. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't sit there. I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm asking you, turn the light on in your head. Tomorrow, people are going to celebrate Prophet Muhammad's birthday. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I want to ask you people this question, and you're uqala. Uqala. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he lived as a Nabi and a Rasul amongst his companions radiallahu anhum for 23 years. For 23 years. In that 23-year period, he prayed what is known as Salatul Kusuf. That's when the sun is eclipsed by the moon. It only happened once or twice in his whole life. Once or twice in his whole life. I've been a Muslim since 1986. I made Salatul Kusuf about 15, 20 times. When I lived in Medina, here in this city, right here, and in other cities across the globe where I lived at. About 20 times. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it once or twice in 23 years. And yet, there are 37 narrations, 37 different ahadith telling us about how he made that prayer. Everything you need to know about that prayer. If I actually ask you, how do you make the Salat al-Kusuf? Maybe he doesn't know, he never did it. Ask you how, you never know. It's a Salat that is different than any other prayer. You go into ruku. After reading, the Imam goes into ruku, he comes back out, and he reads again. All of these 37 hadith explain in detail what he read, what he did before, what he did after. You think something that he did only once or twice, he's going to tell us about it, and then forget to tell us about his birthday, sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Do you think that's the religion of Islam? Something he did once or twice. He told us about 37 companions, 37. And not one companion comes and tells us, oh, by the way, there's a hadith. Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do this on his birthday and do that. That's the response of Ahlul Kitab. Another question I want to ask you people, another question, and there are many. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told the people, طهور إناء أحدكم إذا ولد فيه الكلب أن يغسله 7 مرات أولاهن بالتراب. If a dog, akramakumullah, Ummat al-Islam, if a dog were to lick in your bowl, your plate, your pot, a dog, he licked in it, he sneezed in it, he fell on it, he fell in it. Prophet Muhammad said the way you clean that is you clean it 7 times. The first one, you put dirt in it and clean it with the dirt, because the earth is a purifying our religion. Make tayammum. And then the next 6, you clean it with water. Do you mean to tell me that you believe Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would tell us about how to clean a vessel of a dog? The dog licking your vessel. He told us about that. He said, if any of you prays, and while you're praying, a black dog walks in front of you and your sutra, you have to start your salat over again. You have wudu. You didn't do anything. But the dog walked between you and your sutra. He breaks your salat. They said, why, Ya Rasulullah? He said, because the black dog is a shaitan. Do you mean to tell me, Abdullah, that he would tell us about a black dog? He would tell us about how to clean the vessel of a dog, and forget to tell us about the importance of his birthday, and that's from the religion? Is that what you're telling me, a revert? And I'm looking to you as my a'man. I'm looking at my uncles, I'm looking at you as my elders. I need your help. I come into this religion. That's the nonsense you're going to give me, and I just ran away from Christianity, running away from that nonsense. I want to call it crap. That's not our religion. The Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Listen, behind me is the Qibla. You people are facing the Qibla. The Qibla is important in Islam. ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. The Qibla is from the sha'air. It is a sha'ir of this religion. The Prophet told his companions, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, إذا أتيتم إلى الغائب فلا تستقبلوا القبلة ولا تستدبروها ولكن شرقوا أو غربوا. If any of you want to go to the toilet, from the front or the back, urine or by defecating, akramakumullah, wherever you are, in this masjid, at home, on the bus, on the train, in school, at work, if you want to use the toilet, look at the beauty of our religion. Show me where the non-Muslims have all these details, what they can eat, what they can't eat, how to go to the toilet. If you have to go to the toilet, then don't face the Qibla, and don't put your back towards the Qibla, but turn to the east or the west, depending upon your direction. The important thing is, don't disrespect the Qibla. Prophet Muhammad came to make salat, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and before making the salat, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw in the wall someone spit, and it was just a regular spit. They took the spit out of their nasal passage and spit towards the wall. He took his shirt and he wiped it off with his shirt. That's the ta'zeem of the Sharia of Islam. And then he told the people, don't spit towards the Qibla. This is the direction that unites all the Muslims all over the world. That's the direction of Mecca. That's the direction where people come. And on. You mean to tell me, as my back is towards the Qibla, is my back hurting the Qibla? Am I disrespecting the Qibla? Rasulullah is going to tell us all about face the Qibla, respect the Qibla, and then he's going to forget to tell us about his birthday. I come to you pleading with you, asking you, don't come and tell me so-and-so said, Fulan and Alan. Show me in that book and show me in the Sunnah. And don't say to me those general ayat that you're taking out of context. Allah bi dhikrillahi tatma'innu al-qulub. That's right. When Abu Bakr and Uthman and when they read that ayat, did they come together and make these dhikrs that we do, shirk that we do? So I say to you without biting my tongue for anyone, and I'm not here to be controversial or troublemaker. I'm here to give you dawah and to give you advice. Celebrating the birthday of Rasulullah tomorrow, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is an innovation, and it's not from our religion. And every innovation leads to the hellfire, every one. And there's no such thing, the way we understand it, as a bid'ah that's hasana. This is a kabira from the kaba'ir. A kabira from the kaba'ir. And it is not okay for us to be mutakasirun, mutahawinun. Someone may sit there and say, but the Muslim world is suffering from so many things, and Iraq and Syria and Palestine and this and that. That's right. Part of the reason why is this issue of us introducing in our religion and holding on to it as if it's from the religion, and no one has the ability of the 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people in this mosque. No one has the ability or the courage to come here today after the salat and say, here is the proof, your reverb. Here is the proof of why we should do this mawlid. And then once he convinces me, wallahi, I'm going to give a khutbah next week, inshallah, and I'm going to say I'm wrong. And I'm going to call to us doing the mawlid every day, because you corrected me. But we're not going to have a single person in this masjid, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people to come to help your miskeen brother. Like the ghulat in our masjid. The ghulat, the people supposed to be on the sunnah, they will never come to you with a dalil about what you're trying to say. That I have to follow everything that their sheikh say. They will never come to you to try to give you dawah and nasiha, because they themselves have ghulu. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله التوفيق والسداد. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. إخواني, I'm not here to fight you, and I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm saying to open up your minds, Ummat al-Islam. That's to open up your minds. I want to make this ending special for my brothers and sisters from the Maliki Madhab, brothers from Sudan, brothers from Gambia, from Senegal, from West Africa, brothers from the Malik Madhab, from Libya, Aljazair, brothers from Tunis. I've been to all of those places doing the day of the Mawlid, and you see shirk, and you see all kinds of stuff. My point is, right here, we have people who say they're on the Maliki Madhab, and they're going to celebrate this. Did you guys know that Imam Malik, when he was the Imam in the Prophet's Masjid, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, teaching, he taught for 40 years, 40. He prayed in that masjid for 40 years. And Imam Malik, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, he said that what the people of Medina do is a masdar of a tashri'. He's the only one who said that. Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, Qiyas, and Imam Malik said the amal of the people of Medina. He's the only one who said that. And that position is marjuh. This is not a fifth class. Point is, and Imam Malik, in his Muwatta, he used to say in his book, هَكَذَا وَجَدْتُ أَهْلَ بَلَدِي يَفْعَلُونَ. This is what I saw the people of my city doing. And he would put it in his Muwatta. Not one hadith, not one proof from the people of Medina. This is something they used to do. The Mawlid of Rasulullah. And Imam Malik didn't know that. Put out Imam Malik, the Imam of the Dar of Al-Hijr. Put him on the side. May Allah be pleased with him. What about Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali, and the rest of them? His closest relatives didn't know that? But I say to you in concluding, Ummah al-Islam, the day that the Prophet died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is unanimous agreement, ijma' between the scholars. Prophet Muhammad died on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, tomorrow. That's the day he died. That's the day he died. And this is the day that we take it as a celebration for his birthday. Some scholars say he was born in Muharram. Some say he was born in Ramadan. Some say he was born in Rabi' al-Awwal. Some say Rajab. They don't know. We know he was born on a Monday in the year of the elephant. But the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. So in concluding, Ummah al-Islam, I have in my neck a responsibility. Allah is going to ask me about that responsibility on Qiyamah. You got to know, I'm not scared. I don't want to be disrespectful, and I don't want to be rough and tough. I'm telling you this because we're going to stand before Allah. And I'm going to say, Ya Allah, I'm a revert. I challenge them. These people were born and raised as Islam, Muslims. And I was just telling them, come and bring me the dalil. Come and bring me the proof so that I can correct my mistake. And I say that to you, ghulat, as well. Stop twisting the statements of the Salaf. We're against Ahl al-Bid'ah. Don't make jidal and debate with Ahl al-Bid'ah. I'm your brother saying to you, help me, help me, help me on my innovation. But I know, hayhat. That's why I say ghulat. Hayhat. Ummah al-Islam, let us fear Allah Azza wa Jal and use our intellect. Use our intellect. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us of those people of the uqala, those people of the hukama, those people on this religion, the way those companions were, radiyallahu anhum. What they saw as the religion, make it and let it be the religion for us. What they didn't see as a religion, let it not be loved and wanted and desired by us. We ask Allah Ta'ala by His Ism and Azam to kill the tahrish that exists between us and this misunderstanding that we have, and to give us the ability to come like men who are intelligent. Let's discuss these issues in an academic, scholastic, Islamic way. Aqim as-salat, yarhamukumullah.